There we go. All right. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I did not get any questions from the field for this training this morning, so I'm just going to go over a couple things just as reminders to everybody, and hopefully just to kind of reiterate a couple things. And then if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Or we can also, you can, I don't know if they'll be able to unmute themselves. But we can sure work through any questions that you guys might have that just pop up here. So the first thing I wanted to go over with you and remind you is about the 3 grants that are going to expire on June 30th. And those are the Education Core, the Resiliency, and the Broadband grants. And if these grants are still showing up on in your grant list as underway, that means you have unspent funds in those grants. And so what you'll need to do is if you go out there and you click on that grant and it's still underway, click on the claims component and you will see all of them that are paid. If you see a claim in there that still has a status of editing or correcting, that means we haven't seen it, or we've seen it and we've sent it back and it requires you to do something. So it hasn't been submitted and can't be paid. So only submitted claims we can process for payment. And so if you, like I said, if you have underway grants out there in those 3, that means there's still money there that has not been claimed. Something did not finish the process. Once you're out there, if you see a claim that isn't correcting, there is an alert history up on the top. And if you click on that, you will see why or what's needed on your end to fix so that you can resubmit it to us. Keep in mind there is no extension on these funds. So if you have a claim that's not submitted, or if it's incorrecting or editing or any of that can't be processed, and your district is not going to receive those funds because we can't process it until it's submitted. Another thing I wanted to go over is the end of year status reports. For any district that had any set-asides for N&D, parent and family engagement, non-public equitable services, or if they're in a cooperative agreement for the 2021 grant, there is currently a status report attached to it that has to be completed by July 12th. If you have any questions at all on those status reports, please reach out to the program staff for those grants. So Stephanie Tucrow for all things Title I, and Ellison for all things Title II, and Sheena Price-Fagumps for Title IV. They will be able to help you and assist with what's needed on those specific reports for you. I'm going to remind everybody again, I know I feel like a broken record, that you all need to be submitting claims on your grants. So with the WebGrant system, it's easy. You open up, you see your grant, it's underway, which means you still have funds to claim. Make sure you're doing that. Set up a process so that you're doing it either quarterly or monthly. There's a lot of benefits to doing it on a regular basis. We're looking at every single ledger when it comes in, so it would be a lot quicker and easier if any corrections need to be made. Also, the benefit to claiming is once all your funds are claimed, DPI staff will then go out and close that grant, which will make, if you're like me, you go out, you open it up, and it gets to be kind of overwhelming because you have all of these grants. Well, if you expend all of your funds and it's all good to go, we can close that grant so that it makes your list more manageable. Staff here has been working on closing some of the grants. So you may have noticed that there's some grants that aren't showing up in your current list. You always will have access to them. Up on your top tab, you'll see a closed grants list. So they're over there. So you'll always have access to them, but they're just not showing up on your current grant list because that grant list is going to continue to grow. So if we can get older funds claimed and close those out, it just makes your list smaller and more manageable, hopefully. I want to also put a plug in for a demo that is going to be coming up on June 2nd. Wednesday, June 2nd, DPI staff are going to be giving a demonstration of the new consolidated application process that's developed within WebGrants. It's going to be a step-by-step demo through the application process, which should be very helpful for all administrators and business managers. So I'm telling you to put the plug out there to make sure and attend, because that will open hopefully in early June, and then you'll know how to navigate and what's going to be expected on that. The link for that it was in the weekly blast, and it's going to continue to be, so just kind of pay attention to that to find that link. But yeah, please attend that training, because it'll be super helpful then when you complete your consolidated application for the 21-22 funding. And I think that is all I kind of have. If anyone has any questions or wants further information on anything, we'll give it a couple minutes here and see if there is there more detailed training on the status reports and how to complete them. Joy, I would reach out to your program staff. So reach out to Stephanie, because you have the parent and family, and I know you have the equitable services, and you'll have them for multiple programs. But it's going to be pretty clear once you're in there how to do it. But I would just reach out to Stephanie Tucrow, and she can answer your questions on those status reports. And then the link for, thanks Steph, the link for the ConApp demo is also in the chat. When submitting a claim in WebGrants, who's the person that needs to be signing the certification? What do you mean I don't know what you mean by the certification. If you mean by submitting, oh, on the bottom. Yep, it's anybody who's actually submitting that claim. So if you as the business manager enter everything, and then your authorized rep is submitting it, either the business manager or the authorized rep, because both of you are assuring to that basically. That's right, Rebecca, right? I mean, it can be either.
Right, that was just an Edgar, excuse me, an Edgar requirement that we came across, and so we dropped it in there. That isn't signing for the grant award or anything like that with an authorized rep.
Thanks, Rebecca. The next question, are these reports required on the carryover projects also? I only see them under the new grant. Yep, they, we are not requiring them. You kind of got to pass on the 1920 grants for those status reports. So they are there for only your 2021 grant for all your programs. You will also see them for the 21-22 once those are created and your ConApp is in there. Keep in mind those 2021s. So you're going to submit that report for the 2021 grant. And then if you have not expended all of those funds, you'll have to submit that again once all of those funds are claimed. So keep that in mind. It's really we really want you to spend your funds in the year that they were granted. But if you don't, you may have multiple years of reports. However, for the 1920, you got to pass on that one just because we moved everything into WebGrants and we created those budgets for you guys. All right. Any other questions? Pretty quiet today. All right, well, we're going to continue with these trainings just because I think it's a good idea just to touch base with all of you. And if you have questions, shoot them to me in an email. We will be sure, and I'll just continue to compile them and we'll go over them because I know there's questions and I know you guys are busy with a lot of things. So if a question pops up, just shoot it to me and I'll save it for the next training that we have. All right, everybody have a good rest of your week. Take care and enjoy some nice weather. Okay.